if you think back to the LeSS adoptions or the environments you've been in that have used LeSS, do you have a favorite?
I have two favorites. Am I allowed two?
Two favorites.
One is the one that I wrote about in my case study, which was a kind of travel-based company. The reason I love that is because it was an overnight change of organizational structure. It went from three front-end component teams and 3 back-end component teams to 3 cross-functional feature teams, right? Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was a massive change in culture and focus. And as we know, when we have feature teams, you have to be more customer-centric, by definition, because you are building customer-centric features as opposed to making small technical tweaks to a component. Just mixing those people up and seeing them begin, I mean, it didn't happen instantly. The change happened instantly, but the effect took a while. Seeing them collaborate more, seeing them, the front-end folk and the back-end folk and the testing folk starting to collaborate with the business folk and actually talk about what the customers cared about, rather than, can you make this change to this API? Why? Just do it. Doesn't matter. Someone else will then do something on the front end. But okay, but no one actually knows what the value is to the customer. And seeing how much more customer-focused people became, how much more collaborative people became, and how much more quickly working software emerged from that was incredibly valuable. And very rarely do you get the chance to just shake up an organizational design. You say on Friday that when we come back on Monday, these are the new teams, right? Now, of course, it took months for them to get the technical nous to be able to actually do it well. But I've never seen that happen before or since. Just that, bang, we're doing it. So that was incredibly useful.
You must have had a lot of buy-in in order to make that change so quickly.
Yeah. CIO buy-in, yeah. Which brings me back to lots of the things I talk about now. You are incredibly unlikely to succeed in a LeSS adoption or any business agility transformation if you don't have, I don't even say buy-in these days, right? Because I've had buy-in before where people say, yeah, we buy into this. See you in 6 months. Right? You have my support, right? I don't want your support or your buy-in. I want you to actively drive it, because I can't change the team structure. You need to do that. I can't change the culture. You need to do that. There's a whole ton of stuff I can't do, right? You as the most senior leaders need to do it. And so CIO buy-in, CEO ideally, but thankfully the CIO was empowered to make all of these changes. And with that buy-in comes the ability to do quite radical stuff, right? But it was incredibly great to see that. My second favorite, or my second equal favorite, is it was in a bank, and we had a similar thing. But this was the reason I like this is because it's one of the first and only times we've had real changes to governance processes, right? Instead of these fixed scope projects, we were managed to flip that to, well, just have an empowered product owner of these 5 teams, reprioritizing the work. So let's not create a bunch of business cases and plan these projects and features for the next 18 months. Give a product owner, business side, and empower them to just deliver the most valuable thing. And we'll work out what that is. Measure us on outcomes, not outputs. Right? And I've never seen a bank do that before or since. Right? We started, suddenly, it's like, who cares what features we've delivered? Because the needle has moved on these outcomes, whether it's OKRs or just standard business outcomes you're looking at. Whether it's features A, B, and C, or D, E, and F are irrelevant now. The fact is our customers are happier, our revenue is higher, our net promoter score is higher. Whatever it is that you care about has moved, and suddenly people start realizing, actually, well, this fixed scope stuff is nonsense, right? Because the features don't matter, the outcomes matter. And if you're just learning what the most valuable thing is to deliver to move the needle on those outcomes, then what's the big deal? And it was great seeing that happen. And it was even more great to see that once they left. So many other teams started working in that way, and that's kind of what it's all about, right? That lasting change. So they're my 2 favorites. Not both of them weren't perfect LeSS, but they were LeSS-ish.
And both your favorites for, it seems, at least on the face of it, different reasons. The first one, teams working with real business users to understand real problems and working together to solve the problems. And secondly, the outcome over output focus in a large bank and changes to governance, which you're right, isn't the kind of thing you see happen en masse in the banking industry.
But if if you frame it as an experiment, you get away with a lot more. Which is what we did, right? And nobody likes that kind of that planning process, that dragon's den of here's a bunch of business cases. Someone from finance can pick which ones they think have the best return on investment or net present value or whatever it is you're looking at, right? I mean, that's not how customers work. So it was really great to save them that pain as well. So yeah, you take your victories where you can get them.
Always. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Karim.